All right, good evening, everyone. Also, welcome to today's class. I'm sure some of us on the call we have started um watching. I'm sure at least we've at some point we've gotten to Python right now, and you have started watching. You have the environment set up. So I was actually confirming on the group if everyone has their Python environment set up already. If you have any issues, right, if you have any issues, just let me know so we can sort it out. I don't think it's a difficult thing. Yeah, I think just that's just by the way. So, a recap of what we did last week, basically. Um, so I mentioned that I don't have the Python, the particular file I used last week. But I think I have one here. I think I sent this that we should play with it, right? So we can practically just use this to revise. So this is Colab, right? I'm using Colab today, right? So I just like I said, we'll be getting the feel of how both works. Let me see. Maybe I can use it, but uh maybe I don't know. I'm caught in the middle. Okay, let me just use normal. Let me see. I think I can save, download this. So I think we should just use what we are used to. Um, so by now, everyone should know how to set up kernel. Sorry, start up Anaconda and open up Jupyter Notebook. Uh, Python. Make sure. Yes, so it's coming up now, and you should open a screen. Oh, oh, okay. So this is it. Still coming up. So I've opened up the notebook. So I'll just use this to revise what we did last week. So and we can continue from there. I think we stopped at lists. I was discussing what the list is, right? Trying to explain what the list is basically. I believe you all can hear me loud and clear. I think there was a time we had issues like that. I didn't know. I think it should be recording. All right. So I'm going to start this now. So we started from in the last class. We actually we we got introduced to the concept of programming and how everything works, and we went into Python, right? Why we actually need Python, the purpose of why we actually need Python, and the purpose, and also we talked about how it works basically. So how it works is the syntax, like I said, and that is what we actually need to know, and you need to understand that to actually communicate instructions to the computer, right? So that's actually the point of programming languages in general. And I also explained why we are actually using Python in particular. uh so Now, so we started off with simple things. So I think this is not as arranged in the way, but I think we can use this. So I think I mentioned that to run a notebook, you use Shift Enter. Although you can use this, but you can't keep coming up. So you can just hit your keyboard and Shift Enter and you are run it. So I'm going to Shift Run. So Shift Enter runs it and move to the next one, right? Now, print, I defined what print is basically. So print basically is used to print, um, can it, let me see, hold on. So print basically is to just print out something as the words or as you see it, that's what it actually does. So print is to print something, to display something, to log something, put it as an output basically. You want to see the output. So basically that's what the print statement does. And the way it works is you basically just put let me see, I think I can create a new one. So it basically works like putting print. So print is an inbuilt function. So when we go to functions, we'll get to learn more about that. But just introducing this for us. So print, like I mentioned, this is how it works. This is how simple it is. So you put you put the print keyword and parentheses, you open and close it. Then you enclose in it whatever you want to print um in quotes, right? So if I put 1 2 3, if I put 1 2 3, it's going to work because 1 2 3 normally is a number, right? But if I enclose the number in a quote, right, maybe a single quote or a double quote, um it's going to become a string, right? So this will be outputted as a string. Of course, this is coming out as a string, but you are still saying 1 2 3. You can't distinguish if it is a string or an integer. So we'll get to discuss that at a later on. But I'm just trying to explain how the print statement works, right? So you can basically print anything out, anything. You can output anything. So we also mentioned something about variables, right? We explained that variables are more of like storage. So I use myself as an example, as an object, right? I am an object, and my name is what is used to call me. So when you want to refer to this object as me, I'm talking to myself as an entity, you need to call my name, right? That means my name is now holding that means anywhere you call my name, I'm going to have to respond. So that's a simple analogy I use to explain the concept of variables. So variables, you can, by the way, you can store anything in it. It could be a number, it could be an alphabet, it could be the different data types that we have. Of course, I already mentioned what the data types is. I think we might get to that part. So please, sorry, if I'm too fast, you can just let me know. Um, okay, so this is an example of variables, right? So okay, there's even a text here. So a variable is a named storage location that can hold data. Variables are used to store and manipulate data, making it easier to work with information in your code. So like I mentioned earlier, it's used to hold something, used to store something, right? Now, in this situation now, this is a simple analogy here. So we have a equals to 1. Now, 1 is actually a data type, an integer that is a value actually that is being stored in this text, in this variable actually. And I'm printing this variable straight. So a equals to 1, right? Now, if I call a normally, I should get 1. So print is like, so because we are in Jupyter Notebook, if you just press a, you get 1. That's the advantage of using Jupyter Notebook. You might not necessarily have to use print all the time, right? So doing print a and putting a, you see 1 1. The difference is that print a will not put an output here, why a itself will just put an output. So that's basically the difference, and why Jupyter Notebook is actually used, right? So most of the time we use it to test, write test scripts. So print a, you print 1. So if I change this 1 to 5, you can guess what will happen. So if I'm going to print a now, what will come out? 5. So that's how the print statement actually works. So you can print a variable, you can print anything. So back to variables, I'm currently on variables. So variable can be used to hold anything. So here a variable is holding 5. So I'm going to switch this to let's say int text. So int text, I'm going to include something in it. So let's say uh storage. Storage. Now save this. I've run this now. Now if I copy this and paste it here and run this now, you can see what comes out. Storage comes out because it has now been stored in this variable called int underscore text. Um so I actually want to revise. I don't want to mention type yet. Let me see if I have. Okay, yeah. So there is data types. So we also mentioned something about data types. So when it comes to data types, so when you're referring to data types, uh, there are several data types which I mentioned. There's integers, right? There's float, there's string, there's boolean, and those are the basic ones. There's more, right? But let me just stop there. So I mentioned that integer is from, I think from Excel we know more about these data types. Floats, decimals, texts are strings, and boolean as either true or false, right? So don't want to stay too long on that. Then okay, I don't want to go to list yet. Now, so we are seeing all of these data types. There's an actual way to know the data type of a value. Sorry, my screen is okay. So there's an actual way to know the data type of a particular value, right? And so we have another built-in function for that. I think it was up here, but I decided to ignore it because I've not said anything on it, which is type, type. So let's go back to let me just delete this. So now look at this right now. So we have int text, right? So int text is the variable. So now to check the data, the type of data it is, you put type, you put a parenthesis 2. Like I said, it's a built-in function, and you place whatever thing you want to check. So the variable I'm checking here is this int text, and I place it here. So if I run this script, I'm going to get str, and you know what str means. Str means what? A string. So str is actually what. So the reason why it's stringy, I'm sure we understand. You understand why it is actually a string. Now I'm going to come back here and switch this to a number, just a number. That's 1, 2, 3, right? Then I'll run this 3 again. 1, 2, 3. I'll run this. Can you see it now? It's now an integer, right? Now, so I'm just trying to show you the examples and how to check basically. So they have string, integers, now float. So let's add this. Let's add something to this. So running this now, control enter, then control enter, then control enter. So you can see it now. It's now a float, right? Okay, I think I can even have it this way. So let's do how do I do this? I'm actually bad with names. I'm not thinking of. Okay, let me say number number equals to this, right? Then text txt equals to, let's say, storage. Then text bool, that's like text boolean, equals to, let's put true. So now in Python, when you are dealing with the booleans, the T has to be in capital letters, and if you are dealing with the false also has to be in capital letters. So it's basically true or false, and it uses a title case. So a title case is the first letter has to be capitalized. So this is basically just it. So I'm still just revising actually, anyways. So I'm not doing anything really that strange. Then this is nums. Okay, let me put num. Let me just call it decimal. Then call another and interpret another one as num. So I'm just going to check all of this one by one. 1, 2, 3. Right. So this is the 4 basic data types I was referring to. So now we are going to do something. Print. So printing decimal. I'm printing num. I'm also printing text, and I'm printing text. Sorry. Okay. So I'm also printing text boolean. Now, if I run this all together, oh, I'm getting an error. Oh, that's because I've not run this. So I'm getting name decimal is not defined. So it means that the computer can't make sense of what this is, right? Because I've not run this. That's why this happened. So if I come back to run this and I run this now, yeah, you can see it now. Everything works. So in case you are running yours and you encounter an error, don't fret. It's not a big deal. You're going to figure it out. So let me try to now run check the type of rest. So no, then oh okay, I think I should do one by one actually. So this is the first one is float already. We know that. Um, type of norm ints, right? Then type for text txt, that's a string, and the type for the last one, sorry, the type for what did I call it again? Okay, text boolean is a boolean. So the reason why I didn't stack them together is because if I try it that way, it won't work. No, I would only get the output for the last one. So what I'm saying is if I try to do something like this, so this is one of the arcs in Jupyter Notebook. So if I try to do, let me just copy this, paste it, then take this and put it here, and take this and put it here, and take this and put it here. So what's going to come out here is just the last one. But if I want everything to come out here, I would have to put everything in a print statement. So that's the only way everything will come out. So that's you can see the difference between print and type. That's how they actually varies. So type, so you just need to enclose everything in the print statement for it to work. So so now I have everything enclosed in this print statement, so you can see it now. Although although you can see that the output is a bit different from the output is a bit different from the one we had earlier. Here you are seeing class floats, integer, string, boolean, but it still means the same thing actually. So yeah, so that's basically it. And I think, are we done with the integration? So let me see. Uh, I think I think that's basically it. Okay, then we had to start going into lists. So I explained lists. Okay, so I don't want to go ahead. I want someone to tell me what the list is. I was present in the last class. I think some of you have watched videos for the last class. So does anyone want to tell us what the list is or how it works? Anybody? Please don't have to call names. I'm counting on you guys. Ah, okay. Let me see. Who am I going to call? Okay, I think I'm seeing Kingsley on my screen first, so I'm calling on Kingsley. Hello, Kingsley, are you there?
I'm not there.
Oh, okay. Kingsley says he's not there. So who is here? Um, I think Tito is here. So Tito, do you want to help us out? Oh, are you also not here?
I think I'm partially here.
Yeah, partially. Oh well, okay, that's good for me.
Okay, so a list is I think different types of I mean, different. It contains different data types and must be enclosed in a square bracket. That's all I can say.
Wow, okay. That's okay. Who else wants to go? I saw Eunice laughing. Do you want to go next? Oh, sorry. Yes, you're going next. Eunice, I know you're here, so please kindly unmute and help us out. Hello.
I'm
Oh, you are
here.
here. Oh, thank God you are here. Okay, so
Mm, um, if, can I stay a little? Can you hear me?
yeah, I can hear you, although it's a bit low, but it's
Now
still okay.
you were saying that. I'm coming. I'm coming. Where is it?
Okay.
Can you hear me now?
Oh yeah, better.
Yeah, okay. You explained types of all those Boolean, strings, integer, blah blah blah. I feel like a
Data
list consists
types.
of everything in
Okay.
a listen. Like for example, it has integer, it has string, it has Boolean value. One, I don't know how to explain it like this.
And we are doing well.
One, I don't know how to say. So, for example, you can say my list is equal to 345, um,
Is that
comma,
Mr. Kelly, let
put apple, banana, comma, true. It sure contains integer, strings, and boolean value. Am I correct?
Oh, okay, yeah, that's actually correct. Well, um, yes, the answer that from Tito is actually correct. The answer from you is also correct. Um, a list actually contains different data types, right? And the way to identify a list is by a square bracket. So all of your things that you have, your different data types, has to be enclosed inside the list, although separated by a comma, right? So that's how you actually identify a list. And a list is, well, a list is a list. I'm trying to see if I can get a proper definition like that that could suffice. Let me see. I think there's something here. Okay, yeah, so this is a list. A list is an ordered collection of items enclosed in square brackets, and it can contain different data types, different element of data types. Actually, that's why a list is very good. So, we've gone through the basics of um different data types. We've gone through the process of uh understanding variables, and we are currently on lists. Now, where we stopped in the last class was basically on we're about going into the several types of operations. So I was using a bag, a lady's bag, as an example in the last class that you have different things in it. Because it has yeah, like I said, different things at different places, right? So there's a front. I think I was mentioning something about the front pocket, the back pocket, the right pocket, and the left pocket, right? And I think I also mentioned something about an extra pocket. So basically, uh, there are operations that can be performed on a list, right? The way you can do it with the bag, you can remove an item from the bag, you can insert an item into the bag, you can remove and replace. Like you replacing means that you are taking and you are putting something back. That's you replacing. You can also insert. So when you're inserting, you are creating a new space. So I think this is where I use a new notebook. Anyways, I don't want to use that one. That one is I don't know, for some reason my stem is also slowing down. I hope this does not affect us anyways. So I'm just going to use comments. I didn't show us how to use comments already. So operations in with a list. So basically, what are the operations you can do? You can insert. I mentioned that. You can, okay, let me just put it in the comma. You can insert, right? So you can update, you can remove, and I think insert, update, remove, um, what else? Okay, I think I missed something. I'm missing something here. You can insert, you can update. That's you. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe if it comes. So so this is it basically. You can insert, you can update, you can remove. So let's just deal with this first. Now also, okay, so I remember that we were talking about the positions of items in a list. And I mentioned that the position of items in a list starts counting from 0. In Python, you don't start counting from 1. In a programming language, basically, you start counting from 0. So if I have, so I'm going to define a new list here. I'll just call it bag. So my bag contains book, a book, a biro, and a pen. Yeah. So if I call a bag here, um, you can see this book, biro, pen, right? Now, and I mentioned that you can this have items like they have positions. So now, if you want to access the position of any item, for instance, you want to access the position of book, you have to um, use this square brackets and the index. We call it index. Index is also position. So the position of this book in this place. So if I'm going to pick this now, book is what position what 0. I'm going to put 0 here, and if I run this now, you're going to see book. Now that is me calling bag with this index. So if I want to call pen now, does anyone know the index I have to use? So I have to have bag, and I have to put an index into this place. So does anyone know to go ahead? Maybe let me see my audience. Okay, maybe Chinyere. Okay, did you drop something in the chat?
Sorry, what did you say? I thought I had pen. You said if you want to call pen.
Yes, pen, the pen of the
That
bag.
is two now.
Oh, okay, yes, awesome. Thank you very much. So that's actually 2. So if I put 2 here and run this, you're going to get pen, right? So now, having understood how they are arranged, right? How to access them, because it's very important to know how to access them. Although I can design a complex list right now. So should I? Okay, don't let me do that. So let's just stick to the basics, and maybe as we go forward, we can begin to shake our legs a bit. So now we have seen how to access. Now let's see how to perform these operations, right? The operations are listed here. Okay, let's see how we can actually go about, you know, going about working with those operations. So we are going to start with insert. Should we start with insert? No, I think it's easier to remove. Let's start with remove. So now, if you want to remove an item from a list, right, you have to call the list, for instance, bag, and use an index to access. So you actually put bag dot remove, then the index of the item that you want to remove. That's the position of the item you want to remove. So let's say I want to remove book. All I have to put is 0 here and run this. Sorry. Uh, lists dot remove x not in lists. Hold on. Okay, sorry. I think it should be with the oh, okay. So I'm using a function remove, so I have to pass in the value that I want to remove. So I want to remove book, so this should work. So if I okay now, okay, something has been going on, and I don't know if anyone has paid attention. Now, in a situation like this, I don't have an extra space here. How do I do this? All I have to do is, you see this box out here, you click on it. So normally it's going to be like this. Hold on. So normally it's going to be like this. You can see the color has changed, right? But if I click on this outside, the color immediately, you have the color like this. If you press B, letter B, that's B for bag, on your computer, it's going to create a new one. So you can create as many as possible, right? And if you want to delete, you have to click on this side, like outside of it, make sure it's having this, and it's your D for dog, double time, 2 times, like repeatedly. That's like double D. So you hit it repeatedly, and it deletes that particular list, that particular row. And if you want to now, maybe I'm running this, and I want to run and create a new one. What do? I use Shift Enter. Sorry, that will generate an. So I use Shift Enter to do that, right? So what happened here is book is no longer in the list. So I'm just going to run this back, run this, run this, run this. Then now if I run, so let me call book. Let me put book bag here. So this is bag, right? If I hit this now, bag does remove book and run this. Of course, you don't get anything. But if I now call bag again, I'm going to get biro and pen. Why? Because book is no longer there. I just remove book here with this command, right? So book is actually gone. So it's as simple as that. And if I want to remove pen, I just do bag dot remove and put pen and control enter, control shift, or sorry, shift enter, and put bag here. And you can see what you have here is now biro, only biro left. We can also remove biro actually. You can have an empty list. I mentioned that. So I can use bag dot remove bag and shift enter. Sorry, biro. Then shift enter and call bag. Sorry, and call bag again. So you can see this is an empty list. Everything has been removed. Now, so you can actually, I mentioned earlier that you can actually have an empty list. Now we have removed everything from this list. We need to insert items into it back. How do we do that? So to do that, all you have to do is call bag dot insert. So you are using this insert function, right? And you are now going to pass in something here. So what you're going to pass in here is two things. Right now we have an empty list, right? So the index that we are going to be inserting items is the first index, which is what, 0. So you need the index, and you also need the item that you want to insert. So let's say we want to insert something else, let's say pen, and I control enter, and I come back to call bag. Can you see now pen is now there? Can you see it now? So we removed everything with remove, and we added pen to it. Now if I want to add something else, because it gets more tricky now. So bag dot insert. So let's say I want to insert a textbook. Sorry, before that, okay, yes, I want to insert a textbook. Let me just put textbook. Of course, I'm supposed to put the index, right? So I'm going to come back and put it. So I want to insert a textbook. Now I can decide where I want to actually insert this thing, because if you check bag, pen is sorry, I'm coming, just a distraction. So sorry about that. So this is a bit more tricky because we now have something here which is pen, and pen is in position 0. Now the decision is, where do we want to place textbook? Do we want to place it after or before? Now if you want to place it after, the index is going to change, and the index is going to be after pen. That means it's going to be in index what, 0, sorry, index 1. But if you want to place it before, then it has to be index 0. So if I put 0 here, run this, right? Sorry. Run this and put bag. You can see what I have. Textbook is now before pen, right? Now let me remove textbook. Bag. Okay, let me insert something else. So bag dot insert. Now I want to insert something in front of pen. Now pen has changed. Pen is no longer 0. It's now position 1. Textbook is position 0. So if I want to insert an item in front of pen, it has to be what, position 2, right? So to do that, I'll call 2, then what's the item I want to insert? So let's say it's a bag, I can put a my5 in it. Sorry, my5, and shift enter, then call bag. Now you can see we have textbook, we have pen, and we have my5. So you can see how we have inserted, how we have removed, and how we have inserted, right? Now talking about updating. So updating means that you want to remove that thing and put another thing back there, right? So how do we do that? So let's say it's a bag. What are the other things I can put in it? Biro, pencil. Okay, I can put a sharpener in it. So let's say I want to replace this my5 and put a sharpener there. First of all, I have to access this my5 positions. So to access it, I'll have to call bag and the index, which is what index 2. I can confirm what is there. You can see it's a my5, right? Now, to now replace this my5 with a sharpener, all I have to do is come here, bag position 2, insert sharpener. Sharp. How do you spell sharpener? I'm just going to spell like this. So sharpener, I'm going to do this. Now, what I'm about to do is, I'm sure you remember this operation, this particular operator. So this is equals to, it is known as the assignment operator. In the last class we mentioned about that. So you use it to assign a value to a variable. Now back 2 here is the variable, sharpener here is the value. So if I run this now, what will happen is now that sharpener has taken this position, so that whenever you call back 2, what comes out? Sharpener. So if I come here and put bag and I call back 2, what would I see? Sharpener. Okay, to demonstrate another example, so okay, by the way, if I call bag itself, I'm going to get all of this. You can see sharpener is now replaced my 5. So let's say I want to replace pen with pencil, right? So I have to first of all make sure that I'm accessing the right value, which is 1, and I call this, you are saying pen, right? Now if I want to now replace this, all I have to do is put this and put the actual value there back. So since it is pen and I want to replace it with pencil, I have to enclose this and put pencil, right? And shift enter. So now you can see now that it has worked, but you want to know that it finally worked, you have to run back. Now you can see now it's now textbook, pencil, and sharpener. You can see it right now that it has actually changed. We have edited the values actually. So okay, I think I want to take questions now. Yeah, so do we have any questions before I continue? We still have an hour before us to discuss. Any questions? Olaya, Kingsley, Tito, Abdurrashid, Ines, is Chinri still here? Ah, okay, I can see something. So let me see. Okay, why am I not using prints? Okay, let me see. Sorry. Okay, why am I not using prints? I already mentioned that Python, in Jupyter Notebook especially, if you run this, you don't need to use prints to bring out to output whatever value you have, right? But if you still put this in the print statement, it still work. For instance, let me put this in the print. I think this is the latest output. So if I put prints and bag, you can see it's coming out, right? So the same thing. So why do this when you can just do this, right? So I think that's regarding that. Now I'm seeing Kingsley putting something. Cell in 5.2 attribute error, set objects as no inter attributes in set. Oh, I think you're having a different. I think you should look at the way you defined your bag. I'm sure you probably use a curly bracket, not a square bracket. That's why you're having this issue. Please, can you confirm, Kingsley? You're probably using, go back to where you defined bag. So bag is supposed to be created in a list, a square bracket, not call brackets. Okay, cool. All right, you're welcome. Okay, so any other person that wants to ask a question?
Yes, me.
Okay, go ahead.
I sent you a chat yesterday, but I didn't get a response. Um,
Okay.
I told you that when I run my list, it keeps reshuffling the items
Wow.
on the list. So if I'm going to now assign position or numbers to the list, I don't know how that would work.
Okay. All right. Sorry about that. I was actually traveling down, so that was why I probably did not, and I've been having a conference in the morning. So if you are running your list and is changing its position, that's actually very strange and should not be happening. Um. Okay. So I'm just going to ask is, can you repeat that same issue? Like, if you did you try it again and it kept on, like maybe you cancelled everything, you closed the whole environment, and you later tried it and it was giving you that same issue. Did you try that? Or it was just that once?
Yes, it was just that one. Even then I ran with print as well, and it still reshuffled.
Hmm. Okay, I'll probably have to look at it, but I think you should give it a try. That's actually very strange, actually. Should not happen unless probably you were not following. Maybe Jupyter notebook is for experimentation. So if you don't follow the if you don't run it straight, you can run something down, go back up again, then jump down again. So like it's usually not a clean environment, so it can be a bit messy. So maybe I'm thinking maybe that's what happened, but I would like to take a look at it. Maybe I can't guarantee after the class because I have another call. Sorry, no, I have to be at the conference by that time, so can't guarantee after the class, but I would look at your response. I would maybe send you a message and see how we can rectify that.
Okay,
But
thank you.
you're welcome. So I think, is any other person having that kind of issue, or everything works fine, or a question, or a suggestion, or an input? Uh, looks like I'm going to take our silence as a no. Right. Okay. So let's move on. So where was I? Okay, so I think I was talking about lists operations. So I've mentioned how you can update, mentioned how you can insert, I mentioned how you can replace. I feel like I'm missing something, but um I can't remember, it's not popping. But well, anyways, if it comes, I'll drop it as it is. So so these are the basically the things that you can do, right? Although there are more, right? So if you remember that we have operations with variables where you can multiply a list. Oh, sorry, you can multiply two things. You can divide. You can do floor division. You can do modulus. That's modulo, where you get the remainder as an output. You can do addition. You can do subtraction. Right. Um, we can also do something similar with a list. So it's an extended version of operations with um lists actually. So for instance, you can do addition of two lists. So let's look at another list. So we have a bag list. I need a school list. So a school list basically, so a school list as, man, let's say bag, all right, a uniform, what else, a warmer, right? Being a student, might need to get something like that. Yeah, I think I'll just do with that. So I have school and I have bag. So I have just defined.
Sorry to interrupt.
Okay.
Okay, so I think I might have known what was the cause of the issue.
Oh, okay, you could share it with us. Everyone could learn from it.
Okay, so is the bracket I use the one on top of the square bracket. The one that it looks like a square bracket, but it has it's not curved. Quick press
It's
control.
curly like this. Look at the screen, something like this.
Yes.
This is we're not
That
there
was what
yet.
I used.
Oh, okay. I think I get it
So I
now.
guess that was the issue.
Yeah, we are still going to understand. There's something that this does, right? So we are still going to get there, but I want to clear out this and make sure that we are okay, right? So we might get there today, hopefully. So thank you very much, Sito. All right, so let's look at so I have school, so let's confirm that school works. So this is school, bag, uniform, warmer, and we also have bag. So for instance, I'm going to use print this time around because I want to print out both statements. So here's print, and I put bag in here. So you can see now bag, uniform, warmer for the first one, and uh, the book, pencil, and sharpener. So basically, that's school and that's bag, right? Now, the operations that we can perform with them is we can actually add them together. So let's look at, so we can do a plus. You'll be surprised that it works. So say for instance, school plus bag. Can see how both of them just came together. So what Python did here, just it took this and had this, made it together. So what happened here is now a longer list, and I can decide to even store this inside the big another variables. Let's say let me just copy this. Let's say school stuff, school stuffs, and put it like this and put enter. So whenever you call school stuffs, what comes out, you see this. So this is like adding them together basically. You just actually it's called concatenating. So I'm sure you remember concatenation from Excel, SQL. Do we do concatenation in Power BI? No, we didn't do that. I can't remember. Okay, yeah, but it's concatenation in Power BI. But yeah, we did it. So school stuffs has now been concatenated together. That's actually what happened. Um, you could also do something like, let's say, school. I think times two. Yeah, so this is like multiplication with a number, another number. So you when you do like this, you just basically duplicate whatever you have in the first one. So I can put 4 here. You can see, oh, it couldn't stay in horizontally, so it went vertically. So I think I should put it back to maybe 3. 3 is too worse. Let's just stick with 2. So you can see it now. Just basically repeat what is in it, right? But you can't use divide. No, I think the only two that you can use is the plus and the multiplication sign. Those are the only two operations that you can actually use to multiply this, like make it bigger, right? And okay, so while we are still talking on operations, so let's do something fun, maybe a bit technical. So you can look at school, look at bag, right? So a bag stays in a school. So I want to do something like include a school. So we have the school here. Okay, if you go back up here, we have school up here, we have bag here. So I want to include bag as a variable, as a list inside school. So the normal way you do it is now if you call school, you have this. If you call bag, you have this. Okay, let me remove this bag to remove confusion. So I'm just going to do bar school dot remove. What am I removing? Bag. So if I run this now and I call school now, you can see now it's not longer there. Good. So now let's add back to it. So you do the normal way you add stuff. Just do school dot insert, right? the position you want to insert. So we are going to insert in the place where we remove the string bag, and we are going to put bag instead. Bag is a variable, don't forget. Bag with a quote is a string. Now, watch what happens. So if I put shift enter here, it has worked. So let's see the output. So look at it now. So we have another list inside this big list. So we have bag. This is the bag variable. Remember that bag was holding this variable. So all he did was take this and put it in that position. All of this. That was how. So that was the simple thing that actually happened there. Now to now access it, if I now call school and call 0, I'm going to get this first one, this whole first one, right? If I want to get the second one, I'll just pass 1 in it and get uniform. If I want to get the third one, I'll just pass 2 in it, I'll get formal, right? Now let's go back to that first one, 0. So this is textbook, this is pencil, this is sharpener. Now if I want to now, remember this is also a list. If I want to now get the item, this particular one, I'll have to put another square bracket in front of it and put 0. So it's like if I want to access any list, I have to put a square bracket. Now don't let me do this, it might be a bit confusing. So let's store this back into another variable. So let's say bag reloaded. See, we are storing this school output into variable bag reloaded. Now if you call bag reloaded, you will get this. Now if you now want to access maybe textbook, all you have to do is put a list and put 0 and you get textbook. Now I could have done it easily with school, so all I could have just done is say school 0, and if I run this, I'll get this. If I have put this and put 0 in front of it, I'll get this textbook. So you can see it's the same thing. So this is more of like this is like 2 steps, right? I have to save it first in bag reloaded and call bag reloaded and use this, or I could just do it straight. So like these 2 ways of doing the same thing, right? If you are convinced at this point, please draw my attention. Call me to order.
Please
So
explain again. Oh, ha.
okay. Okay. So we understand the lists, the proper how the list works normally by now, right? So I was mentioning that we have 2 lists, school and bag. Bag is a list, school is a list. Now let's just assume that school has just normal and warmer, sorry, uniform and warmer, and I want to insert a bag inside this, right? I'm bringing that bag function. Bag already has what's it called? Where is it? Where's bag? This is bag. Sorry.
Can you move the bag list close to where you're doing the
Oh, okay,
yeah.
cool. I think I went far up. So let me bring the bag here. So this is bag. This is school. Oh, I have the whole school. Okay, I can remove it. School dot remove, right? And what am I removing? I'm removing the first index. Actually, let me remove this index. I don't know. Actually, if I'm going to remove this, let me see. Okay, better still, I can just replace what is there. So equals to bag. So this is what we had initially. So if I come back to this school, yes. So this is what we had initially, and we decided to remove this bag first, right? By running our usual command, which is school dot what dot remove. And what are we removing? We are removing this item, so that's bag, and shift enter. So if you check school, it goes out. So bag is no longer there. You have just uniform and warmer. Now we want to add another list into this list. Now the usual way you do it, you do school dot insert the index you want to insert item to and the item you want to insert. Normally you are going to have to enclose it in a string. So let's add something else to this. So let me add it to the zero index. Let me add let's say it's a tech service school. So I'm going to add a laptop and control and shift enter. So if I call school now and shift enter, you see that laptop is now there. But look at this, you have to put a quote around it. But this time around, I don't want to put a quote, I want to put a variable, an actual variable, right? And remember that bag, I'm still going to call it again. Okay, this is it up here. You can see bag is actually a list. So what I'm going to do is now I'm going to do that same thing, school dot insert, right? The index, I want to put it in the first position and the variable bag. So it means that I want to take the whole of this and put it in the first position. And if I run this and come back here, you can see it now that this list has been inserted into this position. So I don't know if it's clear now. If it's clear, or you have still trying to find your way around it. Let me see the chat section. Oh, okay, also. Where's it? Okay, so I've mentioned that. Okay, so that's by the way. Now I think we have dealt with the simple things that we can do with it. Now there's also another variable. Sorry, another kind of how do I call it? It's still a data type because if you check the type for school or the type for bag, don't let me talk. Let's just check together. So school and shift enter. You can see a list is coming out. So a school is a list, the bag is a list. So that's the data type. Yeah, list. So now the next data type we're now looking at is a tuple. So it is spelled Tuple. Now a tuple is similar to a list. But okay, so I mean it's similar. So when I mean it's similar, they had look the same, but the only difference is, or one of the difference actually, is that a tuple uses a parenthesis, right? So rather than a square brackets, that's one of the things that actually differentiates them. So the way you actually have your list, you can say num equals to uh let me see textbook. I'll just call it textbook. Chain. Don't know why it came to my head. Chain. Let me just add burger too, since there's changing there. Then textbook is strange. But anyways, leave it. So we have this textbook chain burger inside this tuple. Now, if I run this shift enter and call num, you're going to see it, but this time around is in a parenthesis. Now, one of the differences, this cannot be edited again. Once you have created it, that is final. I cannot come and say, oh, I made a mistake, I want to change. No, a tuple cannot be edited, cannot be changed once you have entered this. The only thing is that you can now decide to recreate it, but you cannot have created it and say, oh, I want to update it, like maybe insert something into it later on. No, that would work. So let's even try. So let's say zero. Let's see what goes on. Big, right? You can see tuple object has not. You can't even do that. It doesn't have it available. So you can't edit a tuple unless it. So when I say recreate, it means that I have to do num equals to, then call all of this again, right? And put the correct thing I want to put. Let's say I want to add something bigger, right? And control shift enter. So this is the only way, by recreating it. and recreating like assigning all of this into this variable again. So num is no longer just this, it is now this because I have recreated it. So that's, you cannot edit it. That's one of the things with in tuple. Another thing with a tuple is let me see. You can actually do addition on it, so but it has to be okay. I'm still talking about the operation. So there's really little that can be done in terms of operations with a tuple actually. Like when I mean inserting, updating, replacing, nah, none of those works because it's actually not editable, right? But you can access it. For instance, I think you can. Let me see. Let me just try this. Nah, I know it will work. So you can't use it. So to access it, you also have to use a square bracket. So the square bracket is actually very it's a very good. You're going to be using it a lot if you're working with lists, tuple, and there's one more word I'm going to talk about. So the to access the variable, you know the positions, right? So use a square bracket, and let's say the first one 0, you can see textbook. The last one here will be 3. So in case you are confused, you can just do total, like the actual item minus 1. So if you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 minus 1, 3, that means last one is 3. So that works too. So bigger, right? Then let me create another tuple. Let me say bash. What do I call it? Um, Smart of names. Let me see. Just say anything. So I have a tuple and what is the name? SIM card. Yes, we have a SIM card in it. What else? We have a battery. Battery. What else do we have here? We have a cord, a cable. Nice. So that's MTN for you. So MTN, you can see it now. And if you check the type with type and MTN, you get a tuple, right? Now,
Sorry,
okay,
sorry, please. I was thrown out. So what makes it a tuple? Is it the bracket?
yes, the
Okay.
call is curved brackets. Let me call it that way. The curved bracket makes it a tuple. So I'm talking about the properties currently.
Okay.
So once again, the curved bracket makes it tuple. So you can see it has the same, it's identical with a list, but it's actually not the same. And one of the properties is it cannot be edited, right? And so I'm trying here to prove that it is a tuple. And I think here I'm trying to see if I can do a plus operation. So here you can see that plus operation that we did earlier with the list is happening here too again, right? So you can see it brought together. So this is MCN, this is num. So I did num, which is this, plus MCN, which is this. So you can see here we have num, right? And we have MCN. So that's how it all came together. Now you could also do the other one, which is the multiplication, right? Num times 2, right? Look at this. So if I run this now, it's going to multiply, basically multiply. Let me use, I think MTN has less variables. Yeah. So now looking at MTN now, you can see it has been duplicated. SIM card, battery, cable, then creating another one again on that. So it's like just the same way you have the list. Like that's why I mentioned that they are similar, but they are not the same. They have their differences. They are different in these aspects, basically, right? So that's regarding the um, similarities and differences between a tuple. So having known a list, you know what to expect with a tuple, but you know that you're expecting less. You're not expecting more, right? Because the basic thing that a tuple can do, it can't even do it. Sorry, the basic things that a list can do, and this cannot even do that. So you already know by default what works. Now, okay, do I have questions? Any question? please ask. I think this is one place that everybody can learn together from whatever questions we're asking. So no question is actually um foolish. No question is you're supposed to have known that. No, everybody is all learning. We are all learning together. So if you have a question, please ask right away. Okay. All right. So I guess I'll be moving on. So I've talked about lists. I've talked about Tuple. Now, the last one I would like to talk about these three is a dictionary. So I might need to spend a bit time on that. So dictionary, yeah. So a dictionary. Okay, before I begin talking, let me explain a few things. So a dictionary is just as simple as your normal dictionary, your Oxford dictionary or your Cambridge dictionary, whatever. Okay, I don't know what dictionary is out there, but the way a simple dictionary works, the way you use your dictionary, that's the way this dictionary works actually. Okay, so you are wondering how is that possible? How will it work? How is that even relatable? So I'm going to explain that now. So when you have your dictionary, when you want to search for a word, you have to know that word, and the word has to be in that dictionary. For instance, I can't be looking for I'm trying to get a word. Let me see. Okay, so I can't be looking for textbook as a word in a French dictionary. In a, let's say, a French to Spanish dictionary, I can't be looking for a textbook as a word in that dictionary because it does not even exist. Now, that's regarding the keywords that you find, how to use the dictionary. Then another thing is on the dictionary that you are actually looking for. So when you want to use a dictionary, you have to actually know the name or what object or what thing that you're actually looking for in particular. So let's say you're looking for, still on the word textbook, you have an English dictionary, you have to find it, right? Locate where it is. I think by maybe index. You can go to the index first and use the pages to scroll to the numbers, then enter into where textbook is. So you probably have to go to T, then check which one has TE, then TEX, then TEXT, right? So when you get there, you find the word, and when you get the word, you see the meaning. Now, the word is actually called key, while the meaning is actually referred to as value. So pay attention to that. So the actual word is a key, while the um the meaning is referred to as a value. That is actually how it is. That was actually how it is, and that was how it is in Python too. So you have your keys and you have your values. Now, you also have operations that can be done with that. So let's imagine you are the editor of Oxford Dictionary, right? Just you. You can decide to remove stuff. You can decide to change the meaning of textbook. You can remove textbook and put battery there. You are the author. Nobody cares, right? So that's you changing words, changing meanings. You can also remove. You can remove a word. You can add new words and their meaning. Remember, you can't just put a word there. You have to put the word and the meaning. That means you have to put a key and a value into it. So what else? You can remove, you can insert, you can update. You can update a key to a value. Sorry, you can update the value to a key. You cannot actually update the key to a value. Actually, you can only update the value of the key. I mean, the meaning of a word. You cannot edit the word itself. You are supposed to create a new word and remove that one. That's how it should be. So that's the gritty nitty of how a dictionary in quotes actually works. And I'm going to go into the implementation now. Now, so let's say, what do I name this dictionary? Okay, let's call it Oxford. So to create a dictionary in Python, you use curly brackets. So we have dealt with square brackets, which is a list. We have seen curved bracket, that's parenthesis, which is a tuple. Now, a list, sorry, a dictionary uses this. That's your curly brackets or curly braces, whichever. That was the one I think Kingsley used, probably by mistake. I was getting something else. So it is called it is used for a dictionary. And like I mentioned, your dictionary is supposed to have keys and values, the way you have your English dictionary. So to create that, you have this. So I can have an empty dictionary. So if I call Oxford, of course you see empty dictionary. I can check the type and I'll get Oxford. You can see it's a what? A dict. That's like a dictionary. So that's proof that it's actually a dictionary. Now let me recreate this dictionary and put maybe two meanings, so two words and two meanings. So let's say let me see. Let me see sim. So let's put sims. So sim. So now this is the way it works. I put the word, the key, and I put the value. I put the value, so the value can be a SIM card is a SIM. Then now this is a single value, this is a key and a value. I don't know. Okay, I think you should be able to relate to this. So I want to put two more, another one. So let's say cable. So let's say a cable is a long wire. Control. So now let me come back here and call Oxford and shift enter. So you can now see we have SIM. We have a SIM is a SIM. A SIM card is a SIM. Sorry, let me change this. A SIM is a SIM card. I think this sounds more sane. So you can now see that a SIM this has this. Now you are still wondering, you still don't understand this. Now Oxford in this situation, SIM is the key. Now, if I want to call sim, all I have to do is Oxford, then that square bracket. I thought it's going to be very useful. Then you put sim here and you call this, and if you see the result. So now here you are seeing a key, and here you are seeing the value. So like to see what this word mean now, I just have to put it in this, and it gives me the results. Now let's do that with cable. So Oxford, then cable, right, and shift enter. You can see what comes out now. A cable is a what? A long wire, and that was because I defined it this way from earlier here. So where I have this key, and again I have the value. I have here the key, and I have here the value. So that is how we actually got this place. So here the key is this, and the value of this key is actually this. So you can see this is how we access it. Now you can create more. You can I think, should I create more? Okay, so if you want to now create more, right, you can, you have to pass in something new. So let's say Oxford, then let me put in a new word now. Let's say a new key, and if I'm going to use a new key, so let's say paper, paper. Then I'm going to put whatever I want to assign to it. So let's say I want to assign a paper is a paper um, is a white sheet, and I press enter. Now it means that I have, so the way you remember from list how we create you replace stores, right? So yeah, you can use it, you actually use that method to create new stores, new keys and lists. So this is the value, and I'm assigning to this position. Oxford paper equals this. So if I call this now, you are going to see a paper is a white sheet. Now basically that's like me creating uh, a new word and assigning a meaning to it this way. Now that's me more of like I'm inserting a new word into my dictionary basically. Now I think I can do another example. So Oxford.
Sorry.
Okay, go on.
For the same,
Yes.
why did he the first one, a sim is a sim. I mean, what's it called? A sim card is a sim. And I'm seeing a sim is a sim card. Why did it go from why did
Yeah.
it change the meaning?
Okay, that's a very nice observation. Now, if you look at this index here, you can see 100 here, right? And up here you are seeing 102. That means something has happened. That means this output is after, or this after this comes this, then this. So I should have run this again. So if you look at it, you see 100, then there's no 101. Okay, there's 101 up here. Then there's 102. Then there's 103. Then it skips this and 104. So I did this earlier where I wrote a SIM card is a SIM. Then that's in this place. Then I changed it to a SIM is a SIM card. Then after 101 is 102, 103, then 104, which is why I have this. So to see that I'm correct, you can just, if I rerun this now, you see that it's going to change. So you can see now it's now a SIM is a SIM card according to what we have here. But then this last one has been added by virtue of this last command that I wrote here. Do you understand?
Okay.
Alright. Okay. Um okay, let me just to remove the ambiguity. I'm going to run everything from this Oxford here. So it's going to be at Oxford is the same card with long wire, then this, right? That means the last one has not been added. So if you check same here, you still have this, you still have this here. And this is where I now had a new one, paper, right? A paper is a white sheet to this. And if I run this now and I check what's in paper, I have this. And if I come back to check what's in Oxford, right? You can see now same cable paper. Paper has been added at the virtue of this line, right? So so basically that's how you can insert this item into this list. Yeah. So do we have questions? Now we'll be able to get an. I'll finish by 5:40. And this is already 26. That means I have like 14 more minutes. Alright, looks like there's no question. I'm happy that we are getting it. So now let's now go on. So I've mentioned one of the things that you can do, which is bringing an item in. Now the other operations you can do to remove, right? Okay, so we have, hold on. Okay, yeah, so it's working. So we have Oxford, right? Oxford gives us this. Okay, I have it here. And I mentioned to get a particular one, just run this. So I'm getting the same, right? Now to now remove this. So let's say you want to remove same. All you have to do is Oxford dots remove. Now remember that when you are removing an actual item in a dictionary, you remove it by the keyword, not by the value. So in this place, to remove all of this, I will have to remove this. All I need is the key, right? So if I do Oxford does remove sin, and okay, let's say unless it's not removed. Okay, I think I'm mixing up the syntax. So I think it is Dell, Oxford, and sorry, Oxford and Sim. Yeah, I think it's this. So if you check Oxford now, I didn't want us to go to this place yet because I'll be using different things. So so the way this works, like I mentioned, you only need the the key, and the key here is Sim. But to remove it, I had to put a delete command, which is del. So del is a keyword. So I've not actually talked about keywords. I actually want to mention it later, but just stick to that. Del is a keyword. So it's a keyword, right? And keywords, okay. I think as well I'm on that. I don't want to go into it. I still have another place where I'm supposed to talk on it comprehensively. But just pay attention to that. Del is a keyword, and the keyword is a some set of words that are in Python that you cannot use. So yeah, you cannot assign variables to them. You cannot use them for variables. Remember that we talked about variables and they have naming conventions. How you can name them, there are rules. I think I should get a list. Sorry, maybe like a document where I can find those rules. So there are naming conventions in Python on how you can actually name a variable. You can't put a number in it. You can't start with a number, right? You can't start with any other sign except the underscore. Um, yeah, I think that's the simple thing there. It's also case sensitive, yeah. So I mentioned that in the last class, but del is actually, so if I try to do something like this, so I'm taking us out, just stay with me. So if I take this del and I try to put something in it, let's say hi, it's not going to work. It cannot work. You get error, but it's not going to work because this is a special word, a keyword in Python. So when we get to keywords, we'll talk more about it. So I just had to use it to delete um delete this from Oxford, basically. So this is how, like I said, all you need to do is know this, and you use the words, the del command, and it deletes it. So we can delete more. So let's say we want to delete let's say we want to delete cable. So del Oxford and cable, and shift enter. Then let's check what is in Oxford. Now you can see that we have only paper left. We can try to remove everything safe. So Oxford and remove paper. Shift enter. Then you call Oxford. You find out that Oxford is now empty. Right? So that's how you can remove. I remain okay. I think I did how you can insert. That's with this. But you can also use this same method to actually update. Remember, updating is like removing and putting something there back. So let me come back here, right? Okay, let me just add something. So I'll call this Oxford, create a new dictionary, let's say key. What is a key? Sorry, equals to a key. A key is a metal. Let's just put it that way. Oh, okay, I think I have a better definition. Is an access to a door. Let's just put it that way. So now let's say I want to change this now. So if you check Oxford, you find out that there's key. Only key is the only thing there, right? Now we want to change this definition. We want to edit it. So all I have to do is just come back here, Oxford, then check key and put in the new thing I want to put. So let's say I use a key is an access to a door. So I'm going to put a key is a metal and shift enter. So if I check for Oxford now, you're going to see now that a key is now a metal. So that's how you can edit. So all of these are a bit similar with lists, tuple, dictionary. They are a bit similar. They just have the different things that make them also different, right? They have similarities and they have um differences basically. So that's how the dictionary work. Of course there are more things, right? But I think that this is like basic things that we need. So of course there's another one. Okay, I can show us. So you can actually run keys. So if you run this, so you're using,
I'm sorry.
oh, okay, no problem.
This dictionary now, you are mixing the type of square. I mean, the type of brackets you're using. I'm seeing the square bracket. I'm seeing the curved bracket.
Okay. So the reason, so remember when we are dealing with tuple, we used a curved bracket, right? Now, when we wanted to access an item, let me go to tuple. When we wanted to access an item inside the tuple, if you remember clearly, we used a square bracket. So this is num here, right? So I'm just going to run this again. So this is num, right? Now, if I want to access the items inside it, I have to use a square bracket. So it's not just particular to lists, it's particular to both list, tuple, and dictionary. But if you want to create them, you use the respective one that they use. As you are creating a tuple to the a what's it called again? If you're using a tuple, it's a curved bracket or parentheses. If you are using a list, it's a square bracket. If you are creating a dictionary, it's a curly bracket. But if you want to access the item, so I'm going to access the item inside this tuple now with index. So if I put 2 and shift enter, you see that I have burger. So the square bracket is just a means of accessing the items that are presently in it. So if you notice, if you look at from here when I started, the only place where I was in square brackets is when I wanted to access it, right? Or when I wanted to change something or add something into it. But when I'm creating, I have to use a curly brackets. I don't know, is that clear enough? Oh, okay, cool. Now, so I'm going to mention two last things. That is this. So with the dictionary. So with the dictionaries, you can have all the keys printed to you, and you can also have all the values printed to you. How do we, sorry, how do we get there? So this is Oxford.keys. So you just have to do dot keys and put your uh parentheses and run this. Wait, hold on. Okay, yeah, this is it. So key, that's key here. So let me do something. I'm going to come back up here, copy all of this, and okay, let me copy this. So I'm no longer using Oxford. I want to use my file. So my file equals to this, and so I think this will work. So yeah, so my file. So here's the my file. So now let me change, let me access all the keys. So my file dot keys, you can see now same cable and paper. And if I want to get the value, all I have to do is my file dot values and shift enter. You can see all the values now. So those are the two functions or the two ways you can actually access all the keys that are present in that dictionary and all the values that you can access in it. Okay, I think I can still do one more thing. So there's one other way, something that you can apply to both keys, lists, and tuple. That's length. So you can check the length of a list or the length of a tuple or the length of a dictionary with this command. So len, short for length, and whatever you want to check inside. So I'm going to come here and first to identify my file is a dictionary. I think I declared a variable num. This is a tuple, and I think I have a list school. So these are all okay, let me use bag. So these are all, this is a list, this is a tuple, is a dictionary. Now length my file gets 3. That means there are 3 items in this. You can see there are 3 items. Length num is the tuple. There are 4 items in it: textbook, chain, burger, and bigger. In bag, length, bag, we have three items in it: textbook, pencil, and sharpener. Now note, these are actual lengths, like the actual numbers of things that are present inside this thing. If you want to access them, you need their index position. I'm not accessing the MiFi. Also, there are other ways you can use index, like saying MiFi dot get sorry, MiFi dot index, I think 3. Um, hold on, I think I can't remember, but yeah, I think there are other ways of using index. I think it's get index. Gets gets in. Come on, where did this go? Okay, can't remember now. I think it's I don't know. It's not coming, but I know that there are various ways where you can actually get use index to actually access a dictionary. Actually, so you can use this index to access a dictionary, but maybe with time, if you get to need it, we can go into that. But at least these are just the basics. So I was actually talking about length, so that our length is actually like the actual count, while the index position, because if you look at this, bag says 3, textbook, pencil, sharpener 1 2 3. But if you need to access it, you can't say 1, you say 0, because it starts from 0. It's an index, it start counting from 0. I don't know if that's clear to anybody that's causing a discrepancy. um I think I would want to stop here. So I've mentioned, so just a recap of all the things we have done. We talked about lists, I said my friend, list, tuple, dictionary. We mentioned the operations that you can go through with the list. We I think we spent enough time on lists, right? Because we need to get that right as it relates to other ones, the dictionary, the tuple, and yeah. So as it relates to other ones, so there's things that you can use to do with a list similar. It can also be applied to dictionary. I think dictionary has more um range to accept all of those things, but a list, a tuple cannot, because it cannot be edited. Once that's been created, that's been created. So that's actually the big difference between a dictionary can be edited, but it has a different way it operates. It operates more of like a actual dictionary, right? While I use the example for list and tuple, they operate like a bag. So your tuple, you could say more of like maybe something that is sealed, that maybe that's just the only thing that can be added. Okay, let's say a fan. So you bought a fan from a company, it is built. There are some, all the things that are inside are not usually changed. They are just always like that over time. But if you go to a supermarket with a basket, you can try to change stuff. I bought, maybe I want to buy chain. I'm not buying again. I return it. I put in maybe a PS5 into it, right? Something like that. So different things you can do with a list, but not with a tuple. But the things you can do with the list can also be applied to a dictionary. So I would like to stop there.